Hey guys, today I want to talk about this Capcom figure. This is Poison from Final Fight. Now, he looks, him, her, I don't know. Was I really just about to do a video on a figure based on a transvestite? I gotta get the hell out of here. Alright guys, as you can see, I got the hell out of the house today and I'm back with my buddy Mike. Some of you guys might remember from last September. Got to showcase his Sega Dreamcast kiosk. And today we're over here just going to show some parts of his collection, and he's pretty much going to take the rest of the show and go with it.
Yeah, so thanks Ed. What I was just going to show today was a few things that kind of still have followed me around in my travels over the years. As Ed probably, I think you said in the last video, the way I got my Dreamcast kiosk, or maybe in the comments, you would know more than I, is that I used to work at EB Games, a lifetime ago. Since then, my collection of random stuff has kind of thinned down over the years, between my brother taking some of the stuff and me taking some of the stuff, selling it off to
me,
to Ed, and just random other eBay stuff. What once was certainly isn't anymore. So. Few things though that are still near and dear to my heart, which you can probably see a little bit behind Ed right here. There's a big poster for this Capcom 2D fighter called Warzord. Well, it's called Warzord in Japan. Has yet to be ported to any home system yet. I mean, there's probably a million videos about it on YouTube, but for people that don't know, it was the test game that Capcom released for their CPS3 arcade system, which was going to replace the cartridge-based CPS2 system. Had a lot more memory. It was to have a lot more better animation, I guess. And this was like the test game they released in 1996 for arcades prior to them finally rolling out Street Fighter 3 for it. So, like I said, unfortunately, it hasn't been ported to any systems yet, even though every other CPS3 game ever made, every Street Fighter 3, every JoJo's Bizarre Adventure game came out on Dreamcast. This has definitely not. They did finally crack it if you've got a MAME deal. Certain emulators can run it now, so it's certainly a lot easier than me having the arcade physical motherboard. But always had a soft spot for this. So I have a poster for the Japanese release.
I'll pan on it. I know I'm in the way here, but I'll pan on it afterwards.
Yeah. So I have that Japanese poster that came out for it. Like really famous artwork that Capcom used over and over again, which was a lot more Americanized. So it's same four characters, since it was a 2D fighter, just like Capcom's other 90s heyday games. But it had RPG elements. Your character would actually level up as you played, and you would actually get a password if you died and had to leave, ran out of money, whatever. They'd give you a password, so the next time you came back, you could type in the password and pick up your character with the same level, the same moves you unlocked, the same weapon upgrades. They would actually have different weapon sprites. They would actually look different, different shields and stuff that the characters would get. So certainly ahead of its time, but kind of fell by the wayside since then. A couple of characters actually showed up in the PS2 fighting game that came out not too long ago, PS2 and Xbox, I guess, called Capcom Fighting Evolution. So the thing about Warzord was when it finally made its way to the States, it was even tougher to find, and they actually changed the name to Red Earth. So I also got a marquee of it and had that framed, so you can see it actually says Red Earth instead of Warzord. So this would be what you would put in the light box above the monitor. Throughout the years, I tried to track down all sorts of other fun stuff about Warzord. So when when the system came out in Japan, obviously they didn't use the same type of marquees and advertisements that American systems used. So they had, this looks familiar to anybody. It's a move list that you would just put on top of like the button overlay so you could see what moves everybody has. But then around the overlay and on top and the sides of the monitors, they would actually use these instead. So it's just like a small piece of paper. This is like about 8.5 by 11, like a regular size sheet of paper. And Ed will probably get better views of these. But then they would have these little mini ones as well on either side of the monitor, and this would showcase some of like the extra moves and the power-ups and stuff that you can do while you're playing. So then, that was like pretty much everything that you could get in terms of a physical game when it came out in the arcades. But Capcom, for all their badness that they did by just kind of leaving it out to pasture, they did release a bunch of promotional stuff in Japan for it. The instruction manual that you would get to for Warzord in Japan when you bought it. Capcom at their, I want to say at their corporate office, if you went in there, they had like little flyers for games, like little booklets. And here's the one that they released for Warzord. They were called Capcom Secret Files. And and when I was in college, a few of my friends, we all loved Capcom, we all loved these games, but I eventually became friends with this guy in the Navy who was stationed over in Japan. Became pen pals with him. Turns out he was a big Warzord fan as well, so he was able to track down another one of these for me. I have a few others for like Alpha 3 and all these other Capcom cannon fodder, but so this Warzord one is especially cool. It has some really nice artwork that certainly hasn't been shown a whole heck of a lot. See, there's the poster we have, and then it's got there's some other artwork. And it's only like, there's a Staples, it's only a few pages deep. But it's got like an interview and all this other fun stuff. So we'll showcase that a little better.
1999.
Yeah. So, yeah. And what's great is it actually has on the back, is what I just started saying, is they have a little blurb about the story in English. So it says, in the year 1999, altered Earth, the world without Renaissance nor Industrial Revolution, where monarchy, swords, and sorcery dominate. Countries restrained each other, however, they were in lull. There were until one enigmatic country has risen. Unearthly cruelty and mystic monsters of the country are leading the world into doomsday. And